Some spooky music to start. Good afternoon, everybody. It is November 21st, and welcome to Sunday Sessions. We have a special guest this Sunday, Alanna Scott King from ASK Healing, or Alanna Scott King Healing. She'll be on in just a minute. Sorry, I'm just going to do that so you can't see my waiting room where she's sitting in. I hope everybody had a great week, and I am looking so forward to sharing this interview with you. Alanna's doing some amazing things, from teaching to holding workshops, and of course doing her dragon work that she does, which we'll get into. Alanna's been on before, and we've had some great discussions, so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping everybody can hear me. If you're logging on and you can hear me, please say something in the stream. Say hi, say something, just so I know. It'd be good. It'd be good. It's just good to know that people are actually listening and they can hear me, because that's what we're here for, right? That's why we're here. I'm hoping I'm not just talking to myself again, because I've done that before. You guys all know. You guys all know. Hey, Carrie. Good to thank you. Good to see you. I'm not seeing you. You're seeing me. Thank you for tuning in. She's super excited. Well, Carrie, thank you. So am I. I'm excited about this one. I think it's going to be a good 1 hour session. So without further ado, I am just going to bring Miss Alanna in. Admit. There we go. Give it a sec for her to log out there. She is Miss Alanna King. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am very good. Very good. I'm hoping people can hear you. So, oh, Allison says she can hear me. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that shows her age.
Yeah, no kidding, hey?
Can you hear me now? Yes, I can hear you now. How you been?
Pretty good. And yourself?
Very good. Very good.
Excellent.
As you know, I'm just getting over a bit of a stomach bug that I had last week, but I think I've kicked it. I think so. I had a bit of a stomach issue this morning, but I think I'm on the mend. How's that? I'm on the mend.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
I'm not being the big baby I was earlier in the week.
Oh, thank God for that. Thank God for Allison.
Allison really appreciates the fact that I'm not being the big baby, because I am. I'll admit it. I'm the biggest suck when I'm sick. The captions aren't showing properly, except the caption. I don't know what Allison's talking about. She says the captions aren't showing properly. I don't know what you're saying, dear. What captions? Do we have captions? Are we captivated, or are we just captioned? Can you imagine trying to do the what's that? The what's that for? They put on the screen when people are talking, so you can.
Oh yeah, that's captions.
Yeah, it would be impossible with me. I talk too quick.
Yeah. Well, interesting words. It's kind of like when you try typing too quick on.
Oh my goodness.
Autocorrect.
Yes. I'm horrible because I get going and my fingers go way faster, or my brain goes way faster than my fingers.
Yeah, the talk to text is.
And then I look back. I don't even do that. I don't do talk to text. I just try to type as fast as I can. And then I look back and go, what was I trying to say?
Nobody really knows.
Nobody really knows. They are captions. Okay, I don't know what they're talking about. They keep saying they're captions, but that's good. I'm glad we have captions. My fingers go way faster, or my brain goes way faster. What are you doing?
Sorry.
You're trying
my
to
thing went crazy. Yeah.
Did you share the live feed? Good stuff.
Yes, I did.
I was trying to give you enough time to share that.
Yeah, I did that. So
it types what you were saying, and they aren't showing properly. Oh, I see. So it is closed captions.
Yeah.
So it's apparently it's not typing what they're not showing properly, but I can't help that. It's not my fault. Not my fault. It's not something I do. It must be something through Restream or Facebook Live that does that very well. Anyway, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks.
You are one busy lady.
I am. I have been very busy lately.
You have done a lot of stuff since we've last talked. If people remember the last time Alanna and I had a session together on Facebook Live, it went really well until this one little topic came up, and then all hell broke loose. So we're not going to talk about that topic.
Literally.
And literally all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Alanna had to do some clearing for us afterwards. It was quite the episode. But
you never know.
But Alanna's been up to all kinds of stuff. Tell us what you're up to, Alanna.
Well, I have quite a few sessions. Like generally, I work a lot with Akashic Records, which is past lives.
Yes.
So I'm teaching courses. I'm teaching people how to read their own.
Oh, that's very cool.
And then and everything is online. So it's all through Zoom. So it's really nice. It's really convenient no matter where you are. And then I have some teaching Reiki courses coming up. And I'm also certified Heal Your Life, Louise Hay teacher.
Oh, nice.
And coach. And so I'm doing a mini little workshop in a couple of weeks on a Wednesday night called Journey to Self-Love. And so I
want to talk about that. Let's talk about that one first. Journey to Self-Love.
Okay, sure.
First, let's go back and talk about whose course is it that you're teaching? Like who you're certified?
Louise Hay.
Who is Louise Hay?
Okay, so Louise Hay has been around for a long time, and she wrote a book called You Can Heal Your Life. And it was really one of the first books that was about using self-love to teach and to teach yourself and to help heal yourself, and can even help your health, and in so many different ways. It went into forgiveness, and it's really, really beneficial. And she works with affirmations. So there's a lot of positivity.
Oh, very cool.
But, and so this particular one is a mini workshop. It's only 3 hours long.
Okay.
On an evening, and it is more of really, especially right now, like with the pandemic, and there's a lot of negativity in the world. It's kind of like
negativity in the world. No.
Yeah, and so basically it's kind of dialing it back so that you can really it's self-care, self-love, love yourself first. And it sounds hokey, but it's more it's kind of like you can't pour from an empty cup. The whole airplane analogy of you need the oxygen on yourself before you can help anybody else.
Yes, I know what you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so it's interactive, and we'll be doing exercises and everything, and so lots of feedback. So you're not just sitting there and just. I was
just going to ask, what kind of a teacher are you? Are you you sit and talk, and everybody else takes notes, and there's a test afterwards?
Yeah, no, I am so not that teacher.
Awesome. I'm glad you're not, because I was like, what if she answers yes? Where do I go next?
It always reminds me of when I was working, in business or whatever, and you'd go to some sort of a course or whatever it is, or a presentation, and all they did was read the PowerPoint. I'm like, seriously, couldn't you just email that to me? I don't have time for this.
There's good workshops, and then there's workshops where you sit and someone talks, and they drive me nuts. Just like, let me get involved. Because especially when you're teaching something like what you're teaching, especially Akashic Records, or of course Reiki, you have to get involved. You can't just sit and listen.
Right? It doesn't work that way, right? Because then, it just, and it's like I said, this one's a 3-hour workshop, so it's great. It gives you some tools you can do at home. It talks a little bit about like we work on inner child. We do all there's quite a bit packed into this 3-hour workshop.
Oh, very cool.
The really nice thing is I email you, like send you worksheets and the whole thing, right?
Okay, so awesome. And that's on December the 2nd.
Yes, December the 2nd.
And how much is that one?
It's $55.
Oh, that's really very reasonable.
Yeah, and so it's for 3 hours, and I'm going to send you some worksheets and all kinds of things that you can use, and exercises you can use on your own, like some mirror work, and it's nice. We all, even though it's kind of like, when there's a part of you that you think, oh, I've dealt with that, I'm good now, and then something happens, there's one word, or there's some little thing that happens that totally triggers you, brings it all back again, and so it's just kind of your toolbox, right, for mental health.
Nice.
And so
nice. We all, like you say, especially right now, we all need that. That's a biggie right now.
Yeah, because there's negative self-talk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anybody who doesn't do it.
Well, exactly.
When you're in that really lower vibration part of yourself,
Exactly.
where things aren't going well. Well, of course I did that. I feel stupid. You know what I mean?
Of course, yes. The self-sabotage.
Yeah, and I mean, like I was terrible for that, and have my moments still, right? So
Yes.
it's like, yeah.
Well, it was funny because I was talking to somebody during a session, and they're like, "So when does this end?" And I'm like, "In an hour." Like, what are you talking about? My sessions are usually an hour. And they laughed. They're like, no, like, when does my healing end? And I'm like, that's exactly exactly what I did. It was like, healing end. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well,
and they're
that's
like,
it.
What do you mean? And I'm like, well, you never finish healing.
You never finish, right?
You might heal this small aspect of your life, and then guess what? Something else will come up. And so,
or it comes up again, and it's not as traumatic as before you started working on it. Because it's so much easier for us to bury it deep. Oh, well, that happened when I was a kid. I don't want to think about that ever again.
Yeah.
But it just keeps coming up, right? And until you actually deal with it within yourself, or not deal's not a right word, but work on it within yourself, then,
And you're teaching Akashic Records, and this is going to lead right into that, because I have found, as I'm doing a lot more of my sessions with clients, is a lot of issues that I'm like, weird. This didn't happen to you as a child. This was in a past life that's affecting you in this life.
Yeah, exactly right.
Is that common? Is that
it's so common, and I do quite a few sessions with people on past lives. And it helps with different things, because you tend to carry things forward from lifetime to lifetime.
Right.
The good, the bad, and the ugly,
Exactly.
But it's like phobias. Like, for example, if I had somebody who was very claustrophobic. This has happened a few times. Very claustrophobic. And then in a past lifetime, they were buried alive.
Yeah.
And so, then it makes sense. And so what we do is, obviously you can't change the past, but you can neutralize or transmute the emotion around it. So you can, and then if you could work on that in this life, then in the next life, it won't show up.
Well, and I mean, I always use myself as an example. I had an irrational fear of mice. I know mice are only this big, and I know they can't hurt me, but I would literally see one and I would have a literal panic attack. My heart would race. I couldn't breathe, and it didn't make sense. It was just one of those irrational fears. I had a session and found out in a past life I was actually thrown in a dungeon and mice were eating me.
Oh yeah, that's not pleasant.
No, right? We cleared that emotion. Obviously, the memory's still there. I mean, it's still, the event still happened, but we cleared the emotion around it.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 weeks after that, I happened to see a mouse on my deck out back, and I went, "Oh, a mouse." Yeah. No reaction. I was like,
"Isn't that amazing?"
It blew my mind. It was one of those moments where you kind of go, "Wow, so this really is effective."
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, like I've talked to somebody too who they went online and they got like a past life thing done, and it was quick or whatever, but it was very traumatic. And all the person did was tell them about this thing. And then, but if you're not, you need to go in and actually neutralize it.
If you're not doing anything with it.
I'm sorry, you were burned alive. Next.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
it doesn't do any good.
They left you like that? Seriously?
And people are always, the biggest question I get when I start talking past lives with people is, well, didn't you say you bring all your experiences and everything you've learned and all your aspects with you through life to life? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, if you clear this, will I forget how to type, or will I forget how to do something because you've cleared that? No. We're not clearing the experience. It's all emotions. Everything's emotions around that, right? And you use the word transmute. I like to use the word clear. Because
neutralize, I say. I usually when I'm like with clients, I say, because we say transmute, which,
Yes.
but I just replace it with neutralize. You're neutralizing the emotion so it's not as,
Yeah.
that's what I do, but to each his own, right? Because when I first started, I didn't know what transmute meant. So
That's why it's like what
I'm
the
using
fudge is
other
transmute? I'm getting my phone out. I'm like, transmute.
I
Oh
don't-
yeah,
it's like,
okay.
excuse me, lady, I don't know what that means.
Can you stop the course? Stop. We need to
Yeah,
go
well,
back.
exactly, right. But even like the example I usually give when I'm talking to people and they're asking me about it is, if you were, say, the first time you fell in love and you fell hard
Oh,
and
this
you
is a big one.
basically said, and then you had your heart broken, I'll never fall in love again. And if you're
Yes.
saying it with conviction, you're going to have issues with relationships, or often have issues with relationships in every lifetime.
Now,
Because you
picture
just-
the fact that
yeah.
every lifetime, you might say that 2 or 3 times in every lifetime and really mean it, because you were
your heart's broken.
devastated. And now you've lived hundreds of life, plural, hundreds, and you've said that 2 or 3 times. So now you've said it hundreds of times.
Yeah.
It piles onto each other. I find that's the big one for a lot of people. And I'm like,
because it's like a contract you're making with yourself. Right?
Well, it is.
So
it's not. It is.
That's
a contract,
exactly. Well,
right?
it is, right?
Yes.
But there's contracts, deals, and agreements that you make with people, with other people, with yourself.
Yes.
And which we go into, but it is, and so it's like, oh geez, so you have to kind of, okay, let's rewrite that or whatever. So
exactly,
different ways. It gets a bit
funny because you bring up you make contracts or agreements with other people, quotation marks, or other souls. I have this happen in a lot of my sessions where we bring up the fact that you meet somebody and you just instantly have a connection. It's one of those, it's not a romantic connection. It's just, man, I feel like I just know this person forever. Well, guess what?
And you're right.
You're right. You have known them forever because you're in the same soul family and you made an agreement on the other side that you would get together and maybe meet in this lifetime. Yeah. And when you do, there's that instant your souls go weak, like 2 magnets.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
A little spark goes off in your brain. And you're like, why do I know this person? We've never met before. A lot of people confuse that with meeting their soulmate. And all of a sudden they're thinking, oh, this must be a romantic connection.
Yeah,
where a lot of times it's not.
It's just friendship, could be, right?
It's just boom, wow, we connect. That's cool.
We connect, and which is very nice, right? So it's really cool to,
and it's funny, since I've started my journey, I hate that word. The spiritual community has to come up with a better name than the spiritual journey. I don't know why. I just don't like the name. Alanna and I have talked about this a whole lot on how there's too much of the my spiritual journey started.
Because everybody has all of these abilities. It's if they tap in.
Yes.
They tap into it or not, right?
Boom, boom. So I didn't have these abilities. I mean, it wasn't like I was gifted these abilities at birth and then Ken found me and plucked me out of a group and said, oh, you have the gift. No, he taught me how to use what anybody can use.
Help to develop them.
Yes. Yeah. Wow, that went way off. what were we talking about?
I'm not sure. We're talking about Akashic Records,
Akashic Records, because you're now teaching. You weren't teaching Akashic Records when we first chatted.
No, I wasn't.
And this is something like you had your Akashic Records training.
Yeah, I had all 3 levels, right?
And now this past weekend, or was it the weekend before that you?
Well, it was a weekend ago,
Yeah, not this weekend, but the weekend before.
Yeah, a week ago.
Yeah, because you weren't on our show when Graham was with me.
No, I wanted to be.
Because you were teaching.
Because I was teaching.
Well, co-teaching. You were
co-teaching. Yeah, co-teaching with Kellyanne Bass, who taught me. So it was really amazing, and we had a fabulous group, and it was so much fun. Now, and the one thing I like to do too, and when I'm teaching, there's always a lot of humor, right? Because I feel you need to be comfortable. It needs to be fun.
Well, this isn't meant to be serious all the time. Is there serious moments? Is there
it's
emotional moments?
And it's serious, but you still have to have fun, right?
Yes. Yeah. You love to, especially when I'm doing mediumship. When everybody always expects real serious and it's not like that. They just want you to know how much they love you And 99% of the time, they kind of keep an eye on you, kind of.
Yeah. Well, that's it, right? So it's not as sometimes people, because of movies they watch, they think it's going to be scary or whatever, and it's like, it's really not. Right?
No, there's a couple shows that I see on TV. Crossing Over with John Edwards. Yes,
I love him.
I have a bit of a man crush on John Edwards.
I love John Edwards.
He is amazing.
So great.
I follow him on Facebook, TikTok. He's
he's really good, and he's really down to earth is what I really like about him.
He is. He just did a Facebook Live this week. It was when I was off. It was a good hour plus that he did.
Cool.
He had a couple different guests come on. It just blew me away. It was just one of those, I learned so much in that hour. It was like, holy. Thus, I reached out. Actually, I posted on one of our groups that we're in that I was looking for somebody who's was a proficient in numerology and astrology. I hope I found somebody. I'm not going to talk about it till I get the confirmation. But
that will be good.
That'll be coming up later this month, which will be really cool. But anyways,
very powerful.
The other one, and I like him because he keeps it light most of the time. Moments?
Exactly, right. And he's very respectful. So
and there's laughing because that's what you're loved with. Just like you and I talking here.
Yeah.
If I cross over tomorrow, God help us, because I'm coming back to haunt you all, just so you know. If I come back and if I want to get in touch with Alanna, it's not going to be all serious. We're going to laugh. We're going to I'm going to make her laugh so hard she has tears in her eyes. Because
I have a good story about that. I had a friend of mine that died or passed over a couple
that's funny because you correct yourself too. I do the same thing. I say die and I'm like, oh, I mean crossed over.
A couple of years ago, and he was very non-spiritual, right? So fashionable, this guy. He was like amazing, and so hated when people talked about religion. And it's like, oh, I don't believe in that. He didn't believe in it. He passed, and then he came through to me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, told you it was real.
I told you. There's a few people I look forward to that.
he like on the other side, he's laughing. He's like, yeah, you did.
That's hilarious. But I can just imagine people who don't believe, and then when they cross over and it all kind of comes to fruition, and they're like, that must be a real eye opener. Even though
it's interesting, right?
And but it must be one of those look back and go, oh, did I mess that up?
And my experience has been when people that cross over, because sometimes I think of my mother was very difficult at the end of her life, but she had dementia and it was not great, right?
Yeah.
But it was the people that I have talked to who have crossed over, it's all the best parts of them that are on the other side.
Yes.
It's not there's no judgmental, there's no, you know what I mean? There's no.
I always tell people, if you're not dealing with your stuff here, if you have issues here, you're still going to have to deal with them when you cross over. Yeah. That's the healing you get when you cross over. But you leave all that earthly shit behind, which is nice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's when we say they're at peace, we really mean they're at peace.
They are at peace. Yeah. And it's like you've always, you see movies, you see different things, interviews where people have passed and they've brought them back to life, right?
Yes.
And how many times it's like, I didn't want to come back, like it was so beautiful and so peaceful that
And it's funny now when we watch a show, both Allison and I will be watching a show and we'll look at each other and we're like, oh, they got it right. Because there's some shows you're like, oh, come on. Stop being so Hollywood.
Shows, right?
But every once in a while, I forget what show we were watching.
Yeah, but it's really interesting. It's kind of cool.
Oh, it was Adele. Did you watch the Adele Night Only?
I did watch that.
In her interview with Oprah, she actually uses the words when she's writing music. She uses I backed up and I went back to it twice to make sure I heard it properly. She uses the word channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
It blew me away. Cool. I was like, you actually channel your music. Like when she's writing, she's channeling.
Yeah, which is very powerful, right?
And then you listen to the words of her music, and it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I really like Adele. I thought that show was
It was
It was
very
good.
cool, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's neat. And so many interesting different, like we're talking about channeling, what you're channeling and different things come through, right?
Yes. Oh, you're going to bring it up, aren't you?
I'm not going to bring it up.
You are going to bring it up. I know you are. I'm just waiting for it.
It's what I do, Kevin.
So a lot of Alanna's work, in case you guys weren't here last time, also the Wheel of Time. Yes, the Wheel of Time is in it. That's Ellison. Sorry, I'm reading the comments as we talk, Alanna.
Oh, okay. Yes, I can't.
That's another show we've been watching is Wheel of Time. Very much, I think that whoever wrote those books had some channeling insight into those books, because you're like, okay, that's pretty accurate. Wait a minute. Yeah, the type of what. I'm sorry, I'm reading as I'm talking and I'm being distracted. Sorry.
Not you, Kevin.
I know, distraction. Shut
How
up!
How odd.
Oh my goodness. What were we talking about?
Channeling different things.
Oh yes, last time Alanna was on, or sorry, a lot of Alanna's work that she deals with is, how do I say, and I've been using this analogy a lot. The universe has to be balanced in everything it does. So whether it's good, bad, it has to be balanced. If we have too much good and not enough bad, we go out of balance. It's a fact.
It's like life, right?
Everything has to be good. If you're way too high, not from taking drugs, but if you're having like a really, really good day, it can affect you negatively because you spike. You need to stay in balance. So in the universe, we have good. And then we have bad.
Not so. Yeah, right. And then you woke up.
So let's see if we can get through this without the internet going out on us this time.
Yeah.
So a lot of Alanna's work, she deals with some of the stuff that isn't so good. Whether we want to call it bad, whether we want to call it evil.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of different terms for it. But it's there, and some people, I'll say, attract it. Is that a good?
Yeah, I think so. It depends, right? And I just also want to say it's a very, very minute percentage. So I don't want people to think that all these god awful things could have are just always after you or something. It's not a horror movie,
because
right?
I was going to
like
bring
maybe
that up.
1%.
If it's one,
So
I would say it's
less
below
than
1%.
Yeah,
Point
it's
zero
very, very
zero
low.
zero. It's that minute. But does it happen? Yes. Alanna's dealt with it. I don't know if we want to get into detail on.
No, I won't get into too many details, but it's not that you attract it. It could, the lower vibration you're at, the more attracted they are to you. Yes. So if your world revolves in violence and negativity, or different types of things, you tend to have these, we'll call them, it depends, negative, dark, beings, shall we say,
use the word beings,
that could attach to you that are not healthy, and then I can remove them from you. Okay, and then I surround you in protection, just to explain quickly what's happening, right? So and also protect you. I also protect your house and all of that stuff.
Now you use dragons a lot in your work,
and angels.
This one work with. Oh my gosh, they get so mad at me. They do.
Excuse me, nobody uses me, sweetheart.
They give me the, excuse me. Whoa, stop.
Yeah, no, and it's very respectful.
Yes, you work with your dragons. When I talk about dragons, a lot of times, especially when I'm in a session, people's eyes go about this big, and they think Kevin's gone off the cuckoo tree. Can you kind of explain? Is there a way to explain dragons 101 without getting into way deep down that rabbit hole?
Okay, sure. Yeah, for example, I'll give you my experience.
Yeah.
Because I was like most people and thought it was just, that's just fantasy fiction, right? When people write about dragons and whatever. and how it came to be for me is that I was doing a Reiki session on somebody, distance Reiki, and all of a sudden I could see her dragon. Because most people can, if they can see dragons, which are not in this realm, obviously, they'll come through, and most people can see their own, but they can't see other people's, right? And so that through that experience, it's first started, I could see other people's. And it just so happened the girl that I was working on, because I actually had her on the phone at the time when I was doing it, and she is spiritual, she's a tarot reader, and I asked her, because I knew she would be comfortable, she knows about the whole thing.
Yeah.
I asked her, I said, do you have a dragon? And she's like, yes. I said, I just saw one in this color. And she's like, yeah, that's what color it is.
Nice.
Okay. And so then I'm like, wow, okay, I guess it is real. But you have to be ready, right? And so
well, I'm going to stop you there.
I hadn't experienced it before.
I'm going to stop you because you said something really, really poignant. It is real.
I guess it's real.
And it's
in a way, right?
Well, it's real because, and I explain it to people when I do sessions with dragons, is it's as real as you and I living in this realm.
This world, yeah, in this realm.
Dragons are that real, just in a different realm.
Yeah.
The difference is dragons have the ability to, I'll use the word cross realms or jump into different realms and not be seen by everyone. Is that a fair way to say it?
And it's kind of like, I don't even know if realm is the right word, because it's more like a different dimension, right?
Okay, there you go.
They're different dimensions. So it's kind of like a curtain that you can, like a glass or a colored glass, shall we say, that you don't see quite clearly, but they're on the other side. So it's not like sitting beside you that you can literally see with your human eyes. But
when you see them, you can actually see them.
Yeah, I can see them, but it's more coming from my third eye.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
But I do see them.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, you see us.
Yeah, exactly. It's really
because
funny.
we let you see us. That's why you see us.
That's exactly what my dragon just said. It's like, because we let you. If we didn't want you to. And that's a lot of people are like, well, how come I can't see it? And I'm like, when you're ready, you'll see it.
And they're very regal. So there needs to be an extreme, like it has to be a lot of respect.
Yes.
And you're asking permission if you can work with them in certain ways, right? It's not assumed, because it could be gone, right? And so then for me, they work with me closely in healing. So when I am doing healing, energy healing, I call it, because it's not just Reiki, because it amplifies the healing. So, you know what I mean? If somebody is in really, I don't know, extreme pain or very, very ill is when the dragons come through. I'll have ask for the dragons to come through and assist me. And if we could work together in sending healing to this person.
Right. That makes sense.
So if to make it and kind of make it so it makes sense, right?
Exactly. Now you also mentioned that you use angels as well.
Work with angels, yes. Nobody uses angels.
They're gonna make me pay for this session, aren't they? I have a feeling they're gonna. It's back to the drawing board with this one.
Yeah, but I mean, again,
you work with angels.
And healing especially.
Now, angels, unlike dragons, the angels are where?
Well, angels are like messengers, just like in the Bible or whatever. They're messengers of a higher power.
Yes.
That help us. But the other thing you need to remember is if you ever need help from any angels or dragons, you have to ask. Because of free will, they will never, ever interfere. Never interfere without your permission.
So important to remember.
Because then they can't just take over your life and do things that they think should be done, a certain way. Yes. You need to learn those lessons, right? So,
that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, in my limited knowledge, and I say that in all honesty, angels are in the spirit realm. They reside
Yeah.
in the spirit realm.
Yeah.
I'm corrected, or the astral realm.
Sorry. The astral realm.
God, you know what? I just heard Ken's voice in my head.
Me too.
Ken, if you're listening, get out of my head. Oh, I hate that.
It's like, how many times have I taught you?
It's the astral realm.
So it is the astral realm. Yes, for sure.
Right. So they reside in the astral realm with our spirit family, all the other spirit families.
Yeah.
They have the ability to come through, just like a soul has the ability to come through.
Yeah, for sure.
Angels are not souls.
No.
A human soul can never become an angel.
I
don't believe so.
It's murky. Let's put it that way.
Okay. I'm being told I'm being corrected. They're like, let's not go there.
Because I know somebody like in a past life that was an angel and decided to come to Earth in their next incarnation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they decided to come down and learn some particular lessons. Anyway,
interesting.
But
okay.
But that's a whole other whole other ball of wax, shall we say? Yeah. Anyway, but without getting too nitpicky.
Now, the average person who hasn't taken any courses, who's not really spiritually inclined, but they believe there is an afterlife, as most people call it.
Yeah.
Are they able to ask for help from their dragons and their angels?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely anybody
can
ask for their help. They don't have to be in the spiritual community.
Well, and thank you.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And that's exactly why I brought it up, because obviously you guys can tell Alanna and I have talked about this in the past privately.
Yeah.
And it drives us.
It's like
us batty.
Well, it's like when you're a little kid, and if you're raised in a background that has angels, like a Christian background or whatever, you're always told about your guardian angel.
Exactly.
And you just ask your guardian angel to, help you or whatever it is, right?
Exactly.
So we're taught from young children we could talk to angels.
And then we stopped it because we didn't believe it, and because religion screwed up, and anyways.
And that's why another reason that young children, younger, see more. They see in other realms, easy.
Oh,
like they'll be like, I have a dragon in my room, or I'm like, and you're like, okay.
I hope my son is listening, and if not, I'll tell him to go back, and it's
you could send him the link.
It's at the 37-minute and 15-second mark. I'm going to write that down so he can go to it and he can skip all our other stuff. When he was young, I'm going to go back 3, maybe 4. We lived in Maple Ridge at the time, and he was outside riding his bike, and just out in our driveway. And my ex-wife went out, and she looked out. She goes, "What are you doing?" He was looking up at the sky, and he was yakking away to something in the sky. And he said, "Oh, I'm talking to Papa." And she looked at him and went, "What?"
Like what?
She goes, yeah, it's Daddy's dad. And pointed up. I'm trying not to get emotional. My dad had passed away, if people have heard my story, when Mom was 8 months pregnant with me. So he never met him. I honestly, that day I knew he was actually talking to his grandpa. He, without a shadow of a doubt. I find out later when I started doing what I do.
Yeah, you learn more, right?
100% he was actually talking to his grandpa. So when you see little ones, and I always say, especially toddlers, and they're looking at the wall and they're babbling away, or they're in a corner babbling away at nobody, 99% of the time, guess what? They're babbling at somebody.
There's a really good book that I read, and I forget the name of it, but it was by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and he documented experiences of small children and reincarnation, and like a 3-year-old talking about it when he was killed in the war with such explicit details, and and angels and stuff. It's very, very interesting if you want to read actual.
Oh, I'll get you to send me that title.
Yeah, I will.
That sounds like a gooder. Man, we just go all over the place when we talk. It's so cool.
It's the ADD.
And we're both the same, right? It's just like zing zong, boop, boop, boop. But it's good. This is what I want on the show, is just this casual conversation, not a question and answer. It's just like a conversation between two people who are doing the same things. When you're teaching Akashic Records,
Mhm.
what's the biggest hurdle I'll use? I was going to use another word, but I'll use the word hurdle that most people have when they first start accessing their Akashic Records. Is that a fair question?
Well, it's different for everybody, right? I'll tell
Mm-hmm.
you about my experience when I was learning, but it was more my brain that,
this is where I wanted to go.
that I thought, oh my God, because I'm very type A. And so it's like, if I don't ask it in this perfect way, like now it's different. When I go into my records or even when I'm reading for somebody else's records, I'll ask a question. And then I'm dealing with the Lord of Akashic Records, which is like the head librarian, right?
Yes.
I always think of like a Harry Potter library.
That's funny because when anybody ever says it, that's how I see it, right?
Yeah. And so then if I ask a question and I'm not really, if I ask a question, sometimes he will reply, try again. And that's my sign that I have to ask the question in a different way.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so then, and the other thing to wrap my head around is there are no yes or no answers. Like that's bad, not bad. Bad's not a good word, but it's not great because you could be asking a question example of a yes or no answer. You go into your records and you go to read for somebody and somebody just left them. Oh, and they're distraught. Are they coming back? And the answer is yes. But they're coming back to get their stuff. So, you know what I mean? So that's why it needs to be an open-ended question. Yes. So, and then you're tunneling down. So you get an answer. What else can you tell me about that? And so for me, I had to learn how to rethink that. And so, and it's not scary. It's no big deal. If you ask it wrong, you just ask it again. It's not like, and so sometimes we put a lot more pressure on ourselves to do it a certain way.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. And so it's a learning process. And you can even have little meetings in there and say, okay, could you coach me on how to ask these questions more clearly?
And they will.
And they will.
Because they've done it for me when I've accessed mine, because I went in and I had no idea. I was like, okay,
me too, right?
And I was like, now what?
That's how you learn, right? It's like whatever,
Just shoot the buck.
Yeah, well, exactly, right?
So. Yes. So you're teaching. What are you teaching? I'm
Akashic Records level 1 and 2, December 4th and 5th. It's a 2-day class.
Yeah.
And then you're sent the manual, and then so it's on Zoom.
Very cool. It's on Zoom.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. So
yeah, and it's an interactive course. It's not
absolutely because you don't learn if you don't and you're also, when you're in the class, then you're partnered with somebody and you can practice on each other, and everybody's in the same boat. So it's not like, there's no reason to be nervous about it.
Exactly. No, I'm going to have to take my intermediate, I think it's called now, level 2. Yeah. I've taken my level 1. I want to take my level 2. We'll have to wait till probably the new year sometime, but it's going to happen. You want to do just a little bit of Akashic Records readings for people? You bet I do. Yeah, sure. We'll keep it real simple, and we won't get into too crazy of detail.
Okay, I could do that.
As people can imagine, if we you could do Akashic Records and you could spend literally a full hour on one lifetime.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way it is.
Oh, that's right. So
I'm posting the link for our Zoom chat in the chat. If you want to have a reading, go and click on that link. You'll pop up into our waiting room, and we'll bring you in one at a time. And I'll let Alanna. Actually, while we're waiting, that's funny. I get to go first.
Do you now?
I get to go first.
Okay.
I'm just going by and it was funny because,
Okay. What's your middle name?
Paul.
Okay. Because we need the full name, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Kevin Paul Hughes.
That's here. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready for you. I'm ready.
Lord. Okay, so what we will do is we'll open your records. Lord of Akashic Records, please open the records for Kevin Paul Hughes, or all names used in this lifetime, and create a safe and sacred space for his highest good and healing. The records are now open. The records are now open. The records are now open. Welcome. Do you have any specific question you want to know?
Allison and I, we know we've lived lives before. What is the most recent life we've lived together?
Okay. Lord of Akashic Records, can you please show me the most recent life other than this life?
Other than this life, yes. You know? I would be like, well, duh.
You're in it, sweetheart. Okay. Lord of Akashic Records, can you please show us the last life that Kevin and Allison were in together? I am seeing 1940s.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing is, where are you? Can you show me? And then I just asked for specifics around that, right? I don't not go the whole life, but can you show me a scene, like an example, please?
How we were interacting.
Okay, so you're in like one of those, I don't know what they're called, suits that were big, like 1940s, and she had dark black hair. You're both the same, like you were male, she was female.
Oh, okay.
You're a couple. And then I'm seeing her with her hair up because it was kind of like in, World War II-ish, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. And so kind of like that roll, she has that roll hairdo. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a rolled, right? Yeah. And it was, she's also in army, like an army uniform.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And so it's like working, looks like what I'm seeing is her working in an office, and you are there as well, only you're a soldier.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And you have I'm seeing a lot of medals on you. And so I am seeing that. And then you're like, you both kind of have stars in your eyes, and so it's like you're very much in love in that scene that I'm seeing right there. So very just cool. Just as a quick.
That's exactly, yes. That's because if not, we're going to take up the whole next 30 minutes.
Yeah. Right? Anyway, just to give you an example of how it works for me, when I'm doing Akashic Records as well, often people want to know, like, say, about phobias, and often, stuff, there was not a lot of great stuff happening, right? There was like, people were witch trials and blah, blah, blah. So then I always finish with, can you please show me the happiest lifetime for this person?
Because we have lived very happy lifetimes.
Well, I know, because we always focus on what we need to fix or whatever, right? So yeah. Yes. Okay, I'm going to close your records because we were in them. Okay. Okay, Lord of Akashic Records, I give thanks and gratitude for the guidance, the healing, the knowledge from today's view. And we thank you for showing us what we needed to see at this time. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. The records are now closed.
Perfect. We have some peoples. Peoples. I don't know who came in first. I think it was this person, so we'll go there. So when you get logged on, if you could give us your full name, first, middle, and last, if you have the middle name. And if you can come on camera, that would be perfect.
Do you hear me?
I can hear you, and now we can see you.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Kevin?
Good. This is my friend from Montreal.
Oh, lovely.
Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Thank you for having me. So, Irina
Okay.
Gabber. I don't have a middle name.
Okay, sir, what was your last name?
Gabber.
Gabber?
Gaber.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay, so let's open your records. Okay.
Yes.
Lord of Akashic Records, please open the records for Irina Gabber, or all names legal names used in this lifetime, and create a safe and sacred space for her highest good and healing. The records are now open. The records are now open. The records are now open. And what would you like to know?
I probably would need your help in formulating my question.
Okay, that's fine.
I am looking to find out about soul, help me, Kevin, voyons.
Soulmates.
Yes, thank you. Soulmates, and specifically, am I to meet a soulmate in this lifetime? Have I met them?
Okay, romantically, you mean?
Romantically,
Okay.
and companionship,
Okay.
yeah.
It's cool because I love the fact that you asked, is it romantically or?
Yeah, just to clarify, right?
Yes.
It could be.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and just for your own knowledge, for soulmates, there isn't always like just the one person for each lifetime type thing. So
Yeah.
we'll just say like the best romantic soul match in this lifetime. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I understand. I know there's more than one soulmate.
Yeah, and I don't want to get all finicky,
Exactly.
but I don't want to, if I'm not too specific that way, and then I might not get quite as much information. Okay, Lord of Akashic Records, can you please give us some information on Irina, who is the best match for her soul in this lifetime, romantically? What does she need to know to meet this person? Okay, so he's saying that you have quite a bit of protection around your heart, and it's like almost like a wall, right? And so that in order to meet who you need to meet, it's kind of like even if you could put a little crack in there to let the light through, it will open up more doors. And I keep seeing these different yellow doors. I don't know. It's just, you don't need to look for yellow doors. It's just, okay. I'm seeing that. And I believe that the yellow doors represent the actual light of the soul that are opening up in different areas. And so what he's saying to me is just open that up and you will see, you'll be meeting somebody, but it may be through somebody else, that it's not as direct as go here and you'll meet this person, right? It's open yourself up to different experiences. So if you're invited somewhere that you may think, like for just an example, that you may think, oh geez, I'm not sure, go. Because that is one of the places, because I'm seeing like he's showing me almost like not a ballroom, but a room with a lot of people in it. And there's somebody there. And so that's how the biggest thing is to open up a little bit more. And so that this soul can come through and connect with you. And you'll feel it as soon as you go in that room. You'll feel it. You'll like, mingle, and you'll talk to somebody and all of a sudden it'll be like, bam. I don't know if
I've had those feelings in my life before with certain people. So
yes, so it resonates.
Yeah, it resonates. And I guess the follow-up question would be for the guide: how do I open up the heart a little bit? Because I think I've been trying to open it up, but keeps itself quite shut.
Okay.
But I understand these are mini readings, so
it's
we'll see.
Yeah, and it's more of a not so much open. It's just that it's allowing yourself to be more vulnerable.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So
I
it's more
struggle with that.
vulnerable. Yes. Well, we're
Yeah.
women. We're always
Yeah.
protecting
Yeah.
ourselves, right? Let's face
Yeah.
it. So, you know what I mean? Allowing the vulnerability, it'll be scary is basically what's, you know, and that's what I am being told as I don't go into future because things can change in a heartbeat. You go left instead of right, everything changes, right? Because of free will, we have so many different ways. And that's what, yeah. I hope that answered your question. I hope that helped
Go
a little
partying
bit.
is what I'm retailing.
Go partying,
Go
yes.
partying.
Especially in Montreal.
Wow, that's not what I heard.
I'm on my way. I have family there, so like let's party.
Yes, let's
Well,
party. Come. There's no snow here yet, so.
Yes, lucky.
You're originally from
Romania.
no, sorry, Alanna.
You're from Romania. I'm from
Montreal.
Montreal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's
you're
great.
coming back home.
Yeah, come back home eventually if I can ever visit again. But anyway, yeah.
Sooner or later.
Yeah. Thank you so
Awesome.
much for the reading. And I just wanted to mention the artwork in the bookshelf behind.
Oh, yes.
It's amazing. It's so
thank
beautiful.
you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
We never talked about
Is it?
Yeah, my other
Okay,
passion,
I'll go back
right?
to the beginning. I missed the beginning.
No, we didn't talk about it, Arena. We didn't talk about
We
it.
didn't talk about
Yeah,
it. I do intuitive paintings.
Does
so,
intuitive paintings. So those are some
Wow.
of her intuitive paintings that she does.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate
The
that.
colors are like, I would love to go through all of those.
Thanks.
Collect a few.
Oh, thank you, my dear. I appreciate that so much.
Thank you. Thank you both
Thanks,
for the
Serena.
session.
And
You're
take
awesome.
care. Oh, I'm going to close your records first.
Oh, yes, please
Lord
do.
of Akashic Records, please close the records for Arena Gabbard. Is that right?
Yeah.
In a safe and sacred space. I thank you for this healing and this guidance. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. Thank you.
Thank you both again.
Take
Happy
care.
Sunday.
That was awesome.
Oh, good.
I like those. I get goosebumps every time. It's
Oh, do you?
cool. Oh, yeah. It's so cool. We got people waiting.
Okay.
Judy.
Hello.
Hello, Miss Judy.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Good.
Nice to see you. What a great session, Kevin.
Thank you.
Oh,
It's
good.
been fun.
Yay.
I've really enjoyed
This
it.
is a fun one, yeah. I mean, not that they all aren't.
Wow. Wow.
Good save, eh?
Judy,
Anyway.
what is your full name?
It's Judith Anna Unsworth.
Okay. Okay, so let us open your records first. Lord of Akashic Records, please open the records for Judith Anna Unsworth and all names used in this lifetime in a safe and sacred space. The records are now open. The records are now open. The records are now open. Okay, so do you have a question in particular? Or?
Yes, kind of, sort of. I'm
Okay.
between jobs and
Okay.
sort of semi-retired.
Okay.
I was downsized from my last job and I'm sort of consulting now. And I'm just curious what I should do next because I don't know that I want to go back into the same field I was in.
Okay. Lord of Akashic Records. Judy is looking at career options. Is that the right way would you say is, yeah?
Perfect.
Career options at this point and so of what is in her highest good.
Thank you.
If that makes, yeah, okay.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. It's going through, so we're good. Okay. Are you artistic or creative in some way?
Yes.
Because what he is saying to me is that wasn't her passion. What you were doing wasn't your passion. It paid the bills kind of thing, but it wasn't really what you were like meant to do, shall we say. Not meant, because I feel like it's, you know, a certain point in your life. But now things are coming through and I'm getting courses. Like, is there a course you're taking or is there something?
No, but I was looking at taking something.
Okay, because I'm seeing you in a class, not a classroom, but like with a book open, but it looks like not a text. Well, the symbolism a textbook. It doesn't have to be a textbook, but you know what I mean? Symbolism for courses or whatever. But I'm seeing you literally looking in, like, it's like you have this book and then you're writing notes on the side. And so to learn to hone your skills, because you already have the talent in whatever it is you're looking at, but it will give you more specifics. And once that's, then it's done. And then I see a door just opening up. And so, so I don't know if that resonates well.
It does. I was a fire chief and I work as a consultant as a fire chief. Okay. I'm very good at it, but it's not what I want to do. And like all things, its time has come. The stresses are not worth it anymore. So I need something different and new, and that resonates a lot.
Oh, good. Well, I'll just say about me. I was in 25 years doing research for the public library. I was in management in sales, and look at me now.
That's awesome.
Like, totally changed.
Yep.
Because this was always what I loved to do, right? So yeah, and then I took courses and stuff. So see, it's just going to open all these doors for you.
Well, thank you.
That's awesome. Very awesome.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Alanna.
You're welcome. To see you, Judy.
Yeah, you too. I'll be calling you soon.
Okay, take care.
I'm going to close your records first. Before
yes, I always forget. We're going to have all these records open.
It's very important. I give thanks and gratitude to the keepers of the Akashic Records for this guide and healing knowledge, wisdom, and the information we've received today in this safe and sacred space. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. The records are now closed.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
You bet.
So much.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, I got a question for you before I know we got other people waiting, but are you okay to go past 3:00?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we just got one person waiting. She can wait. You know who it is, so.
I don't.
Oh, you can't see
I'm only on Zoom. Right. I'm not on, because when I go on Facebook, it has you talking.
You'll see why I'm bugging her. We bug each other. That's what we do.
Okay.
Now, the last two people that you went into their Akashic records, they weren't talking about past lives. They wanted to know about this life.
Yeah. And so the nice thing about Akashic records is because there's a record for literally everything. Every home has a record, which you can clear if you want to sell it. Just another service there too, right? The things you can do. But it's like everything. It's potential outcomes for the future. But again, like I said, future is fluid, right? Depending on what you choose.
Right. Gotcha.
But yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Very, very. Okay, let's bring in our last participant. I think you know this person.
Okay. Yeah. Melissa.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I know you're just full of flowers, but you got to turn your video on, the young lady.
Yeah, Kevin, give me a second here. I'm technologically challenged.
Okay, what's your middle name, Melissa?
I was going to say you're rather old. No.
Really? Really? From you?
What's your middle name, Melissa?
Murray. It's Murray.
Murray.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so let's open your records first, okay?
Sure.
Board of Akashic Records, please open the records for Melissa Marie Cameron, right?
Yeah.
And all legal names used in this lifetime, and create a safe and sacred space for her highest good and healing. The records are now open. The records are now open. The records are now open. Yay!
Yay!
I love the way you do that all the time. Yay! I can almost see confetti going off.
Yeah. Well, because the reason I do that too is because sometimes a person's guides won't let me in, right? Like it's the protection level, right? So it's like, yay, we're in. We made it through.
I'm an open book. Like, come on in. Bring some friends.
Yeah. And so did you have a specific question?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. So
not at all.
Okay, so in the records,
just like to click links.
I see. Okay.
You're such a
you got to be careful with that. I'm just gonna you could the wrong link could shut your computer down.
Right?
That wouldn't be the first time that's happened to Melissa.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't.
Okay, so we're in your records. Have you taken Akashic Records?
I have.
That's what I thought. Okay.
I thought you two knew each other.
I actually don't know Alanna. I've never met her. That's kind of why. That's why I clicked the link.
Okay,
Oh,
very
cool. Okay, cool.
I just assume everybody that's in my little spiritual community knows each other, and I forget that they don't. Doesn't everybody know everybody? Come on.
Yeah, well,
the community's
you
getting
kind
smaller.
of do, right? But you don't. You do and you don't. Right?
Yeah.
Just like, and
Yeah.
you might like each other's stuff on Facebook and that stuff.
Exactly.
It's not a close connection, really. You know.
Really?
Okay. So we're in your records.
Mhm.
Is there a certain lifetime you wanted to know about, or do you don't have any questions or anything, right?
No, I don't necessarily have any questions.
Okay, well, let's look into one of your happiest lifetimes. How's that?
Sure, sounds good.
Well, that way we can end on a happy
Happy
note there.
note.
Yeah.
I like happy notes.
Yeah. Lord of Akashic Records, can you please show us one of Melissa's happiest lifetimes?
It's going to be this one because she met me.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, listen, this ain't our first rodeo, Kevin. We know this.
Yeah, I know this.
Yeah.
Melissa and I go way back.
At least another lifetime.
Oh, one or
Oh,
two.
for sure. I'm seeing a whole bunch of different stuff. Can I get something a little bit more specific that I can describe? Okay, I'm seeing you in it looks like it's Europe or so, maybe in 1500s or so, and it's like you're in a ball gown. That's what I'm seeing. You could check later or whatever, but it's I'm seeing that you're like in a ballroom though, and you're dancing with this very good-looking, yeah, it's not you. Just so you know. I'm sorry. Did I say that too quickly?
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway.
Nice shot. I like it.
No, okay. So no, but I'm seeing you dance almost like it kind of reminds me of like ballroom dancing. So long gowns, like you're in a long gown and you're dancing and you're just having a really good time. But it appears like it is like your party.
Oh, it's my party. I'll cry if I want to.
Yeah.
That
Others
is definitely
may cry,
showing
but you
your
won't
age.
be crying. Yeah, no, you're having a really good time and you're just really, I feel like there's a joy within you, but it's like a calmness, if that makes sense. So it's like there's a lot of happiness, but it's not like over the top kind of stuff. It's like, this is like really great. It's almost like if it was in celebration of your 16th birthday or something. You know what I mean? Like just this really beautiful ball, and you are the belle of the ball, basically, and dancing all over. And then, and I see parents then, and it looks like a king and a queen on sitting on thrones.
Interesting.
Former royalty. You shall bow to me, Kevin.
Yeah. Might explain a lot, hey? Like, yes,
Help us all.
you need to do this now.
Exactly.
Anyway, but no, honestly, but that is what I'm seeing. And there's just a lot of happiness. And it's like you're very excited to be there and surrounded by people you love. And so that's what I'm seeing in that.
That's awesome.
That particular lifetime. Yeah. So, I mean, I know it's just a snippet, but you can go in and you can get some more information since you can do that anyway. So.
Yeah, I could kind of see it as you're talking about.
It was funny because the other ones you did, I didn't really see it. But of course, with Melissa, because of our connection, it was so vivid to me as you were describing it. I literally seen it happening, which was really cool.
It almost reminds me of like Beauty and the Beast. You know, oh, maybe you were in that.
Right?
Oh, you were waiting for that.
So here's a question for you then.
Okay.
The gentleman I'm dancing with, do I know him in this lifetime?
Lord of Akashic Records. gentleman that Phyllis is dancing with, does she know him in this lifetime? That person, no. He was one of the suitors at that ball.
Excellent.
For the dance that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That you're like, having a really great time and you are smitten with him. But
interesting.
I don't.
It's not the one you end up with.
That's not coming. He hasn't been in. He's not in this lifetime with you.
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting.
Very
you could double check that too, but
Interesting.
Yeah.
I usually don't go back and double check because I don't.
Well, no, not double check, but if you want more details, right?
Yeah.
I don't mean it that way, but I meant like, you want more details, like, who is this guy? Was he in any other lives with me? That kind of stuff. Well, you know what I mean? Like, more details.
Just enough frogs in this one, Kevin.
So, but if you want more specific details about that lifetime, then you can go in and kind of get some more specifics as opposed to this little drive-through reading.
Sounds lovely.
Here's a question for both of you, because you both, I know you both go into Akashic Records. How often do you guys actually go into your Akashic Records often, and just to check out lifetimes?
Different.
I never do.
No, not for lifetimes. I go into my Akashic Records every day because I work in them a lot.
Yeah.
But not
just to check out.
Not specifically for my own past lives.
Yeah.
Unless something comes up and I'm like,
Well, and quite often,
seems like a deja vu or something, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
But we have access to them, so why not just go in and watch?
Well, you can.
Instead of watching a movie, you can go in and check out where you've been.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm always in doing energy work of some kind.
Yeah,
I just don't have a lot of interest in my past lives. It just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a tool, right? If I needed to look for something, I'd find it. But I don't generally I go in there and do a lot is all the time. And,
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what most people use Akashic Records for. Excuse my choking there. Is for healing purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than just kind of checking out, like, okay, was I a king in a lifetime? Let's go look. It's more, let's find out what's affecting me in this lifetime to make this lifetime better, rather than let's go back and check out the past.
Well, for me, every modality I use or whatever is for healing. I go in a lot with clients for past lives, but it is specific to healing.
Right.
To heal something around, something that's, happening in this lifetime.
And I think
let's go back and see if it started somewhere else, right? Or in another way.
And I think that's the purpose of Akashic Records for us.
Yeah, and that's
for that purpose. Cool, Melissa.
Well, that's what I use it for as well.
Yeah,
I use it the same as Alanna, right? All for healing as opposed to channeling messages.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Same here, right? So it's almost all healing. So yeah.
Thanks,
that's why
Melissa.
I go into happy at the end, because it's like, Jesus. You were like beheaded, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's look for the happy part.
I like happy.
Yeah.
Happy's good, because otherwise, not otherwise, but it just seems so heavy, even though you're doing the healing. For me, I like to just, at the end, let's give you a little glimpse of something that makes you feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well,
Melissa,
thank you for that.
Thanks for popping
on. Nice meeting you, Melissa.
It was lovely to meet you, Alanna.
Let's make sure we close the records, Alanna.
Okay. I'm closing them now.
Thank you.
I give thanks and gratitude to the keepers of the Akashic Records for this guidance, healing knowledge, and information that we received today. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. The records are now closed.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, darling.
All right, Kevin.
Talk to you soon.
Behave.
I never do. Cool. Well, Miss Alanna, thank you
for having me.
So much. That was amazing. I apologize. We took up 15 minutes extra, but that was a lot of fun. Hopefully the people that were listening got as much out of it as I did, because I always tell people that these sessions, I get just as much out of these Sunday sessions as my listeners do. So thank you for taking the hour with us. It's so cool. And once again, if you want to reach out to Alanna, you can find her on Facebook at Alanna Scott King Healing, or you can go to alannascottking.com and register for one of her courses. Her workshop's December 2nd. I'm just going to put you over in the waiting room because I want to talk to you just for a sec before you leave.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okie dokie. Boom. Well, guys, thank you so much. This has been so good. I so enjoy these. Tune in next week. We are probably going to have another guest. It's going to be pretty interesting. I think you'll really enjoy it. In the meantime, if you want to reach out to me and get a reading from me, you can go to my Facebook at Cavelli Channeling and click on the book now and book away. You can do a 30-minute session or a 60-minute, either one. And I look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, message me. We'll talk to you all soon. Have a great day.